This is 5 hard truths from 30 years in hospitality. What's happening, Pro Shifters? Welcome back to another episode of the Pro Shift Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Shawn Soole. I've been toying with this idea. It's been bouncing around in my head for the last week or so. Like, how can I give more to the next generation? How can I give more to next round of operators or managers who want to become operators, ownership, stuff like that? I'm working on ownership right now. That'll be announced pretty soon. But I wanted to give you 5 hard truths that I have experienced in my almost 30 years in hospitality. Number 1, you are going to fucking fail hard. If you don't have failure, you will never experience true success. Having success all the time doesn't make you hungry. Failing and failing publicly, which is what most operations are. Like if you're a restaurateur and you've done all the marketing and PR and everything for the open, you fail very publicly and very openly, and dealing with the constant like, oh, what happened? Sort of mentality from people is really, really tough to swallow sometimes. You're going to fucking fail hard, but I think failing hard makes the success even sweeter. And that's a very cliche thing to say, but I do think that you need to be hungry. And if you're successful all the time, you're not hungry. Like, you need to have that little setback to push you forward. People are always, this is number 2, people are always there when you're successful, but when you do fail, there's sometimes crickets. Your true friend's always going to be beside you when you fail. That's completely understandable. Everybody's there for when you're successful, when you first open up, and they want to cover you and write about you and patronize your venue and all that sort of stuff. But when it fails, 9 times out of 10, there is crickets. And I think this is a two-sided coin. 1, people don't know how to deal with failure themselves, let alone dealing with someone else's failure. But it's also one of those tough things that you have to understand that you might have a couple of people in your corner, but you're not going to have the group of people that you had when you were successful in your corner. Number 3, sacrifice is necessary. Now, I've talked about work-life balance. I've talked about 4-day weeks. I've talked about treating your staff well, not overworking your staff. If you want to be good at what you do, there's always going to be sacrifice. It goes to anything. If you want to be an Olympic hockey player, you're out on the ice more. If you want to be a certain style of niche doctor, you're going to go to all the conferences and do all the things and do the extra study. And it's all about like sacrificing something to get to the greater goal. So if you're not willing to sacrifice a little bit, whether it be time, whether it be energy, whether it be time, like spending time with your family and relationships, success is going to be really tough to like get to that full 100% success that you might want. Number 4, getting to the top is easy, staying there is the hard part. Everybody wants to be on the lists, the world's best 50 bar list or the restaurant list, depending on what you want to be. Everybody wants to get the accolades and the awards. It's what happens when you don't get them the next year. What happens when you drop a few spots? What happens when you don't necessarily show up the way that you did the year before? Getting to the top is the easy part. Staying there is the hard part. Continually pushing yourself, not resting on your laurels, like figuring out what the next evolution of your business is on a regular basis. Now, before anyone comments about, oh, well, awards should be a byproduct of your hard work. And accolades are great. No actor goes into a movie going, oh, I'm going to get an Oscar for this. They just go into a movie to do their very best job. And the Oscar is the byproduct of the work that they've done within the movie. Same thing with directors and cinematographers and all that sort of stuff. That's the sort of analogy I like to play. If you're building your business all around awards and just trying to get awards, 1, you're going to do shit that is icky to get the fucking nomination, and it's going to be a hollow victory. It's going to be a hollow victory because you've got no substance. You've got all the sizzle, no steak. And if you don't have the steak, well then you're kind of screwed because the sizzle eventually fades. And number 5, being a hospitality entrepreneur is very, very lonely. I'm going to be really honest. I have a fantastic family, a wonderful wife, a wonderful daughter. But 9 times out of 10, I am working by myself, headphones in or music on, in my office, crunching away at whatever I'm crunching away at, spreadsheets or design work or anything like that. So it is a very lonely business, and there is times when you are going to feel like there's no one else out there. The one thing, if you're feeling lonely, reach out to people who you look up to, reach out to people who you would like to be mentored by, reach out to people who sort of align with what you're trying to achieve goal-wise, and see if you can go out for a beer or a coffee once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month, just to try to make sure you have that connection with people who are on the same sort of like level and alignment that you were in. Now, I've laid out 5 really hard truths about being a hospitality entrepreneur, being an operator, being an owner. This is not supposed to deter you. This is not supposed to deter you. All of this that I've just laid out gives you the sweetest taste when you succeed in what you're trying to do. And you are going to fuck up, you are going to fail. But man, this industry gives you back 10 times more than what you give. And I'm really honest with that. There's times when I don't feel that way. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like sometimes I'm just banging my head against a wall and I don't know what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to achieve or whether or not this is worth it all. Finding a thing that makes it worth it all is the tough part, because you feel like you just grind and you spin your wheels a lot. But this industry, the hospitality industry, is a beautiful industry, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else other than that. And so while this is the 5 hard truths for hospitality entrepreneurs, I want you to know this industry is worth it. And on that note, guys, thanks as always for the support. See you soon. Bye.
All right, post shifters, that's it for now. Keep your standards high, your spirits neat, and your team tighter than your forecast. Catch you next week on the Post Shift Podcast.